All right, let's talk about something I bet so many of you have felt. You know that feeling? You're on a team and everyone is just incredibly busy. I mean, back-to-back meetings, you're shipping new features, but when you look at the numbers, they're just flat. Nothing's really changing. Well, today, we're going to dive right into that. We're talking about organizational stagnation, and more importantly, how to break out of what I call the busy trap.
So the first thing we got to get straight is what stagnation really is. And, it's not about standing still, not at all. It's actually the complete opposite. It's this whirlwind of activity, right? A constant hum of motion. But, and this is the key, there's no real forward progress. It's all just an illusion of moving ahead when in reality, you're just running on a treadmill. And this, right here, perfectly captures that disconnect. I mean, look at this. On one side, you've got all the signs of productivity, right? The packed calendars, the Kanban boards that are overflowing, the constant slackings. But then you look at what actually matters, the results. And the story is, well, it's completely different. Flat revenue, stagnant user growth. The needle just isn't moving at all.
So let me ask you, does any of this sound familiar? Just take a second and think about your own team, your own company. Are you seeing signs of this illusion of motion? Because honestly, just recognizing that this is happening, that's the first huge step.
Okay, so this brings us to our first big idea here, the busy trap. This is exactly where so many organizations get stuck. They start confusing all that frantic activity with actual meaningful progress. And there are some really specific, kind of sneaky warning signs to look out for.
And you really, really want to spot these signs early. Think about it. Is your team constantly changing its KPIs? Just kind of hoping the next one will be the magic bullet without ever stopping to figure out why the last one didn't work? Or how about this one? Are you launching features and then, poof, immediately moving on, never even measuring their impact? Look, that's not being agile. That's a huge red flag. It's a symptom of a team that's running on hope, not a real strategy.
And here's where it gets really, really dangerous. Because if you let it go unchecked, this busy trap, it doesn't just hurt your numbers for a quarter. No, it grows. It metastasizes, and it actually becomes a core part of your company's culture. This right here, this is the critical shift. The moment progress stalls and those external results dry up, the whole organization, it stops looking out at the customers, at the market. Instead, everybody's attention turns inward. All of a sudden, it's all about internal politics, fighting over resources, and frankly, just trying to survive.
And the consequences of that, they're severe. New ideas? They suddenly feel dangerous. Product strategy gets thrown out the window in favor of internal politics. Playing the blame game becomes a full-time job, a survival skill, really. And then the inevitable happens. Your best people leave. The real high performers, the ones who actually want to build things and make an impact, they're the first ones out the door, because they have no interest in navigating a political minefield.
This quote just says it all, doesn't it? I mean, why would you stick your neck out? Why would you pitch a bold new idea if you know the only possible outcome is getting blamed when things go sideways? It's that fear. That's what paralyzes innovation. It's what keeps the whole cycle of stagnation going. So naturally, all this inward focus leads to what is probably the most critical failure of them all. You completely lose touch with your customer. The very reason your company even exists in the first place. Oh, I absolutely love this metaphor. Think about it. All those data dashboards and fancy reports, they're just the wake behind your ship. Sure, they show you where you've been, but they give you absolutely zero guidance for the foggy sea that's right in front of you. If you don't have that direct input from your customers, you're navigating completely blind.
And this shift in the conversation, it's everything. A healthy, growing company, it's completely obsessed with customer problems. But a stagnant one? It's obsessed with its own output. It's all about what feature to build next. They end up chasing features, maybe copying a competitor, and they never ever stop to ask, is this even what our customers want or need?
So what happens? Well, the product roadmap ends up being dictated by whoever is the loudest person in the room, or maybe the manager who's best at playing politics. The customer, they aren't just ignored. Their voice gets totally replaced by this internal echo chamber of assumptions and opinions.
Okay, so that all sounds pretty bleak, right? But here's the good news. There is a way out. This cycle can absolutely be broken. And you know what? It almost never starts with some big top-down mandate from leadership. Nope. It starts with a few individuals who just think differently. And sometimes it really is this simple, but also this powerful. Think about it. You're in a meeting, everyone's just nodding along, and one single person has the courage to ask, why? Just, why are we doing this?
That one question can change everything. A simple, hey, are we sure this is the real problem we should be solving, can stop all that misdirected momentum right in its tracks.
And these people, they don't just ask the questions, they act. If there's no customer data, fine. They'll go find it themselves. They'll conduct their own interviews. If the official process is too slow, they'll just build a quick and dirty prototype to test an idea. The key is they act like a leader, no matter what their job title is. They don't wait for permission.
And that is the core mindset right there. It's about ownership. It's no longer the company's problem. It becomes my problem to solve. It's a massive shift from just being an employee who does tasks to being a real stakeholder who solves problems.
So, the big question is, how do you take that individual spark and turn it into a fire that spreads across the entire organization? Well, let's get into the playbook. Let's talk about how to really reignite growth.
All right, the recovery plan is basically built on 3 pillars. Number 1, you have to redefine the core problem, but from the customer's point of view. Get back to basics. Number 2, you engineer a series of small wins. This is so important. You need to build back momentum and confidence. And third, leadership has to provide transparent and totally consistent direction. No mixed signals.
And when I say direction, I'm not talking about some vague, fluffy slogan you'd see on a motivational poster. No way. A real strategy, it's a clear, sharp sentence that absolutely anyone in the company can use to guide their actual day-to-day actions.
Just look at the difference here. A vague strategy is something like, let's expand our market share. I mean, what does that even mean? It's useless. But a sharp strategy, that sounds like acquire 500 new enterprise customers in the second half of the year by focusing on the finance sector. Now that is a strategy. A developer knows what that means for them, a marketer knows, a salesperson knows, it's actionable.
Here's another great one. Think of it like this. Funding is the fuel for growth, but it is not the steering wheel. You can have a full tank of gas, but if you don't know where you're going, you're just going to burn fuel going in circles. The direction, that has to come from you, from your leadership.
And ultimately, this is the mindset you're aiming for. This is what it feels like when a team has truly broken free. You're not just following the standards anymore. You're not reacting to what competitors are doing. You are so connected to your customer and so clear on your strategy that you are the ones creating the standards. You're setting the pace. So I'll leave you with this last question to think about. Your organization is moving. Every organization is. There's always motion. But are you sure it's progress? Or is it just activity? And more importantly, are you the one creating its direction?